Government says Indonesia's digital economy value is the highest in Southeast Asia. Good evening, it's Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business and economic with me, Wicky Adrian. This is Market Headlines. During the Canadian Foreign Minister's official visit to Jakarta, the Indonesian and Canadian governments agreed to strengthen economic cooperation. As stated by the government, the cooperation between the two countries includes trade, investment, and green energy transition.
Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi received the first official visit of Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs office in Jakarta. According to Retno, in the bilateral meeting, Indonesia and Canada focused on discussing economic cooperation.
Mengenai pentingnya kedua negara terus memperkuat hubungan kerjasama ekonomi antara lain dengan mengintensifkan negosiasi Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement atau CEPA yang sudah mulai negosiasinya bulan lalu dan Bapak Presiden menyatakan perlu untuk dipercepat negosiasinya. Selain itu juga dibahas mengenai kerjasama untuk isu clean energi, infrastruktur, dan lain-lainnya. Terdapat ketertarikan dari investor Kanada untuk terus berinvestasi di Indonesia.
Foreign Minister said Canada had invested in a number of infrastructure projects, including the development of the Cikopo-Palimanan Toll Road and the Gresik Port Infrastructure Project. In addition to investment, Indonesia and Canada are also committed to accelerate the energy transitions toward the net zero emission progress. IDX Channel reports.
The House of Representatives criticized the Agriculture Ministry's imports realization for a number of strategic food commodities. And responding to the criticism, Minister of Agriculture says that it was difficult not to import due to ministry's budget constraints.
Member of Commission 4 of the House of Representatives, Yohanes Franciscus Lema, criticized the Minister of Agriculture regarding imports made of a number of strategic food commodities. This is because some of the surplus in food commodities was due to imports.
Gila kalau negara ini itu memastikan ketersediaan dan surplus pangan strategis itu dari importasi. Karena ini adalah solusi jangka pendek dan tambal sulam. Nah, saya khawatir fakta ini terjadi, ketergantungan yang semakin tinggi terus-menerus ini terjadi. Ini karena adanya politik pembiaran, Pak. Semacam ada ruang yang diberikan, sehingga kemudian perburuan rente dari kuota impor itu terus-menerus terjadi.
Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Syahrul Yassin Limpo responded to the criticism by saying that as a leader, he wanted the food commodities not to be imported, but it was difficult to do so due to budget constraints.
Jadi sama Pak, sama, insya Allah sama di pikiran kita. Kenapa mesti impor kalau memang kita bisa siapkan kan? Cuma persoalannya kan, mana uangnya ini? Cuma memang ini tidak semudah yang kita pikirkan, sama yang Bapak pikirkan gitu loh. Dia butuh proses. Terlanjur kita impor daging 1,2 juta per tahun ekor. Nggak bisa langsung kunyuk-kunyuk dalam 2 tahun, 3 tahun kita bisa penuhi, itu nggak bisa. Dia berproses, butuh 30 triliun, itu doang.
In addition to criticizing the food import policy, the House asked the government to continue to ensure the availability of food in the country, especially ahead of Eid. IDX Channel reports.
Since the majority of CPO plantation owners are private firm, SOE Minister Erick Thohir asked the private sector to fully commit to providing cooking oil. Therefore, the minister has tried to invite private parties to help solve the cooking oil problem.
SOE Minister Erick Thohir has asked the private sector to fully commit to providing cooking oil to the people. Erick added that since the Indonesian nation is gifted with extraordinary resources, all parties who live and enjoy the benefits of the country must take the responsibility for solving the problems that occur in Indonesia.
Jadi kita juga mesti ingat bahwa kita hidup di Indonesia, kita mendapatkan berkah di Indonesia, ya. Jadi ketika ada seperti ini ya para swasta juga harus kembali bertanggung jawab menyelesaikan, jangan menjadi orang asing. Menjadi orang asing ketika tadi kayaknya dari sumber daya alam Indonesia, tetapi ketika rakyat membutuhkan tidak hadir. Jadi saya sangat mengetuk para swasta, ayo bersama-sama dengan BUMN, pemerintah pusat, pemerintah daerah, ayo selesaikan masalah minyak goreng ini.
According to Thohir, State Plantations Holding Company (PTPN) has only 4% of crude palm oil land area. He said the majority of CPO plantation owners are private firms. Therefore, since a few months ago, the minister has tried to invite private parties to help solve the cooking oil problem. IDX Channel reports.
Moving on to global update, French President Emmanuel Macron will go head-to-head against Marine Le Pen in a runoff election. Meanwhile, Australia's Prime Minister has called for a federal election to take place on May 21st. More stories on today's International Minute.
French President Emmanuel Macron will go head-to-head against the far-right candidate Marine Le Pen in a runoff later this month after the two secured the most votes in the first round of France's presidential election. Exit polls released Sunday evening put the two leading the pack out of the crowded field of 12 presidential candidates. Macron's opponent will be far-right leader Marine Le Pen, who also faced off against him during the 2017 presidential election. Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison has called for a federal election to take place on 21st May. Morrison's Conservative coalition government is seeking a fourth successive three-year term in power. With the coalition trailing main rivals the Labour Party in many opinion polls, Morrison cited that Australian public's familiarity with the Liberal-led government is a crucial reason to keep them in power. He also asked voters to focus on the current government's track record. Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has handily won a controversial referendum he supported to determine whether he should step down or complete his 6-year term. López Obrador won slightly more than 90% of the vote on Sunday, with turnout hovering at an estimated 18% of eligible voters, far below the 40% threshold needed for it to be legally binding. Shanghai unveiled plans for the limited easing of its strict coronavirus lockdown. Authorities in Shanghai laid out the blueprint for lifting restrictions in specific residential areas despite a continued increase in COVID-19 cases in the city. Hu Honghui, Deputy Secretary General of the municipal government, said the city was dividing compounds into 3 risk categories with several thousand so-called prevention areas to have their lockdown lifted if they reported no cases for a 2-week period. IDX Channel reports.
Bank Indonesia projects an increase in retail sales. Market headlines will be right back after the break.
Has projected an increase in retail sales performance in March 20.
Eropa kompak bergerak positif.
Awali hari Anda dengan informasi dunia ekonomi yang diulas dari berbagai sudut pandang.
Level tertinggi
Power Breakfast, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 8.30, hanya di IDX Channel. Perbincangan hangat tentang isu dan kebijakan ekonomi terkini yang diulas secara mendalam bersama narasumber terpercaya. Market Review, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 10 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat, hanya di IDX Channel. Meniti langkah kemenangan di bulan Ramadan. Saksikan program-program pilihan yang menginspirasi di bulan Ramadan. Kids Menu. Program masak-memasak menyajikan menu spesial tapi mudah untuk dibuat. Cocok untuk kegiatan di dapur bersama buah hati. Small Space. Ide pemanfaatan ruang minimalis menjadi tempat usaha yang nyaman beserta tips untuk memulai usaha. Quran Inspiration. Belajar bagaimana Al-Quran mempengaruhi kehidupan dari sudut pandang seorang public figure. Today Special. Mencicipi menu dari restoran dan hotel terkenal. Mengintip langsung cara pembuatan serta tips memasak dari chef profesional. Saksikan program-program inspirasi Ramadan hanya di IDX Channel.
Ketika waktu aku hamil dan waktu aku melahirkan, ternyata proses ini juga bukan suatu proses yang mudah gitu. Dimana pasti ada up and down prosesnya, ada yang perlu disiapin, bukan hanya sekedar
The Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, Erlangga Hartarto, said that the value of the digital economy in Indonesia was the highest in Southeast Asia. Therefore, the development of the digital economy is one of the main strategies for Indonesia's economic transformation and is aimed at accelerating economic recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. Erlangga said that the positive development of the digital economy was driven by a shift in people's behavior that tends to use digital platforms in various sectors. The positive trend of the development of the digital economy is also in line with the development of investment. The results of a Google, Temasek, Bain and Company study show that the investment value of Indonesia's digital economy during the first quarter of 2021 was $4.7 billion and has exceeded the highest value for the last 4 years.
Ekonomi digital di Indonesia ini tertinggi di Asia Tenggara. Di tahun 2021 sekitar 70 miliar dan diperkirakan di tahun 2025 146 miliar. Nah, ini diperkirakan kita juga terus mengalami peningkatan dan diharapkan jumlah startup juga terus meningkat.
Bank Indonesia projects an increase in retail sales in March 2022. The increase will be supported by sales of fuel, food and tobacco.
Bank Indonesia has projected an increase in retail sales performance in March 2022 as reflected in the Real Sales Index or IPR of 204 or up 2%. The IPR recorded a growth of -4.5% month-on-month. Bank Indonesia said an increase likely occurred in most groups, especially clothing, spare parts and accessories, cultural and recreational goods, as well as food, beverage and tobacco. This would be in line with the increasing public demand for easing public activity restrictions due to the sloping of COVID-19 cases and the start of preparations for Ramadan. On an annual basis, retail sales in March 2022 are expected to be up 8.6%, but lower than 12.9% in February 2022. The groups that recorded high growth included motor vehicle fuels, as well as food, beverage, and tobacco. In the previous period, February 2022, the results of the BI Retail Sales Survey indicated that retail sales performance remained strong. The performance that remains strong is reflected in the IPR in February 2022, which was recorded at 200 or up 12.9%. IDX Channel reports.
The Minister of Manpower, Ida Fauziah, said that she would regulate the salary between female and male workers. The minister wants the wage of male and female workers to be equal. Ida explained that the Ministry of Manpower has ratified the International Labour Organization Convention, which provides protection for workers, both female and male workers, in terms of wages. She said that, in fact, Law number 13 of 2003 has also given equal rights to all types of work between men and women. However, the Ministry of Manpower admitted that it would mobilize all labor inspectors to monitor companies that discriminate between male and female workers, especially in terms of wages.
Kita sudah meratifikasi konvensi ILO yang memberikan perlindungan baik pekerja perempuan maupun laki-laki dalam hal pengupahan. Undang-Undang Nomor 13 Tahun 2003 juga memberikan penghargaan yang sama atas semua jenis pekerjaan dengan pengupahan yang sama antara laki-laki dan perempuan.
As a result of the recall of Kinder chocolate products due to contamination with Salmonella bacteria, BPOM decides to temporarily stop the circulation of Kinder Joy product in Indonesia.
As a result of the recall of Kinder chocolate egg products in the UK and several European countries due to the contaminations with Salmonella bacteria, the Food and Drug Administration or BPOM said it would temporarily stop the circulations of Kinder under the brand name Kinder Joy in Indonesia. This is done by BPOM as a form of prudence. Therefore, BPOM will conduct random sampling and testing throughout Indonesia on registered Kinder brand products. In Indonesia, Kinder products registered with BPOM come from India with product variants named including Kinder Joy for boys, and Kinder Joy for girls. The product is manufactured by Ferrero India. Previously, the British Food Standard Agency on April 2, 2022 issued a public warning regarding the voluntary recall of Kinder Surprise brand chocolate product because they were suspected of being contaminated with Salmonella bacteria. The products that the FSA recalled were Kinder Surprise, Kinder Mini X, Kinder X Hunt, and Kinder Strawbones. The variants are manufactured by Ferrero in Belgium. IDX Channel reports.
Jaffa will disburse 707 billion rupiah dividends for shareholders after the break on market headlines.
IHSG kembali mengakhiri pekan lalu dengan rekor tertingginya.
Reksadana saham berhasil menjadi reksadana dengan kinerja terbaik.
Awali hari Anda dengan informasi dunia ekonomi yang diulas dari berbagai sudut pandang. Simak pula analisa pasar modal dan inspirasi bisnis dari berbagai perusahaan rintisan.
Otomatis reksadana saham masih cukup menarik untuk kuartal 2 tahun 2020.
Power Breakfast, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 8.30, hanya di IDX Channel. Meniti langkah kemenangan di bulan Ramadan. Saksikan program-program pilihan yang menginspirasi di bulan Ramadan. Kids Menu, program masak-memasak menyajikan menu spesial tapi mudah untuk dibuat, cocok untuk kegiatan di dapur bersama buah hati. Small Space, ide pemanfaatan ruang minimalis menjadi tempat usaha yang nyaman beserta tips untuk memulai usaha. Quran Inspiration, belajar bagaimana Al-Quran mempengaruhi kehidupan dari sudut pandang seorang public figure. Today Special, mencicipi menu dari restoran dan hotel terkenal, mengintip langsung cara pembuatan serta tips memasak dari chef profesional. Saksikan program-program inspirasi Ramadan hanya di IDX Channel. Perbincangan hangat tentang isu dan kebijakan ekonomi terkini yang diulas secara mendalam bersama narasumber terpercaya. Market Review, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 10 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat, hanya di IDX Channel.
Welcome back at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. Earlier today, yesterday was open at the level of 7,227.41. Then approaching the closing time of the session, the index was on the level of 7,156.71. Then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 7,214.78. In short, JCI went up 0.15%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got basic went up 0.86%. Cyclic went up 0.75%. Meanwhile, transportation and logistics went down 2.31%, and energy went down 1.25%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. BBCA went up 0.97% to a level of 7,800 rupiah per share. Bank BRI went up 0.88% to the level of 4,610 rupiah per share. MDKA went up 5.77% to the level of 5,500 rupiah per share. And GZCO went up 34.19% to the level of 208 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got GoTo went down 3.14% to the level of 370 rupiah per share. ADMR went down 3.46% to the level of 2,510 rupiah per share. IATA went down 6.99% to the level of 266 rupiah per share, and Buka went down 1.83% to the level of 322 rupiah per share. And this is the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Opened at the level of 14,358. Rupiah was also showing a strengthening trend towards US dollar, was closed at the level of 14,299. In summary, rupiah went up 0.52%. Jaffa Confit will distribute cash dividends of 707.9 billion rupiah, or nearly 35% of the company's net profit in 2021.
Jaffa Confit will distribute cash dividends of 60 rupiah per share of 707.9 billion rupiah. Dividend distribution is carried out after obtaining approval from the annual general meeting of shareholders. Head of Jaffa's Financial Supervision Division, Erwin Johan, stated that nearly 35% of the company's net profit is designated as cash dividends. As is known, Jaffa managed to record a net profit of 2.02 trillion rupiah throughout 2021, an increase of 120.63% compared to the 2020 achievement of 916.71 billion rupiah. Earnings per share increased from 79 rupiah in 2020 to 174 in 2021. The company also posted net sales of 44.87 trillion rupiah, 21.4% higher than the previous year's achievement. The animal feed business segment managed to record operating revenues of 28.4 trillion rupiah, an increase of 34.1% from the previous year. IDX Channel reports.
Solusi Bangun Indonesia allocates 30% of its 2021 net profit as cash dividends. The total amount of dividends to distribute reached 216 billion rupiah.
Solusi Bangun Indonesia allocated 30% of its 2021 net profit of 720.93 billion rupiah as cash dividends. With this payout ratio, the company will distribute 216.27 billion rupiah, or 23 rupiah per share as cash dividends. The President Director of Solusi Bangun Indonesia said that the remaining 70% would be used to finance the company's operational activities. This year, although it did not mention the figure, the company has budgeted capital expenditure funds to be used for operational continuity and for strategic plans. For example, for the development of a spatial terminal port located in Tuban, East Java, for export purposes to the United States market, which will be completed by the end of 2023. IDX Channel reports.
By March 2022, Integra Indo Cabinet received orders worth 2.1 trillion rupiah. Moreover, the company is optimistic that it can record revenue growth of more than the minimum target of 25%.
Integra Indo Cabinet received orders worth 2.1 trillion rupiah during January to March 2022. The company also estimates it can book a revenue increase of at least 50% year-on-year in the first quarter of 2022. Integra's management explained that the strong revenue growth was driven by export sales of furniture and building components, especially to the United States market. Throughout 2022, the company is optimistic that it can record revenue growth of more than the minimum target of 25%. Integra believes that high inflation and the potential for an increase in the benchmark interest rate in the United States will not have a bad impact on its exports to the United States. This is because the US is the largest importers of wood furniture in the world, and demand from that country is still growing. IDX Channel reports.
And the news close market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Inspirasinya dari mana? Bisa yakin gitu untuk kita membentuk home care 24.
Karena satu panggilan jiwa ya, di Indonesia belum ada menggeluti dunia bisnis health tech.
Jangan cuma ngelihat langit, tapi juga ingat bahwa kaki kita tuh masih di tanah gitu. Jangan cuma lihat cuan, tapi ingat masih ada risiko kerugian.
Apa yang bisa pelajari dari rugi? Karena kan pasti ada momen di mana seorang investor itu dia rugi, portofolionya itu merah.
Nomor satu banget yang paling penting disadari oleh pemula yaitu manajemen resiko. Investasi itu bukan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan hidup, harus tetap kerja. Trading untuk membantu kita mencapai tujuan hidup.
Jadi PT Paragon itu kan memang masih sebuah private company gitu.
Tetap ada responsibility, saya setuju tadi.
Mendevelop tim, ya kan, what can I help you, empower gitu kan, gimana supaya prosesnya lebih efektif.
Lebih bisa berkembang lagi, punya